I want to understand human nature, the best and the worst of it. I want to understand how power, money, and fame changes people. I want to understand why atrocities are committed by crowds that believe they're doing good. All this, ultimately, because I want to understand how we can build a better world together. This, our human civilization, in all of its full complexity, the forces of good and evil, of hate and love, to find hope for the future, and to rediscover each time through the exploration of ideas just how beautiful this life is.
I don't know that you could find a podcast with better guests than yours. Top tier people in every field, and they love coming on and talking.
A lot of people are intimidated, borderline scared of me. Most people say my voice is very boring and I talk slowly. To those people I say, go fuck yourself. I love you. I'm such a loner. I'm an introvert.
You're too balls deep in science.
Like, I'm not an expert. I'm an idiot. I really want to not make fame, recognition, money, all those things a motivation at all. And the world kind of wants you to make those motivations.
That's a choice to buy into that or not.
Diet. Linear hats. Shtick.
So this is it. This is our world. It is full of hate, violence, and destruction. But it is also full of love, beauty, and the insatiable desire to help each other. The people who run the social networks that show this world, that show us to ourselves, have the greatest of responsibilities. We turn to social networks to share real human insights and experiences, to organize protests and celebrations, to learn and to challenge our understanding of the world, of our history, and of our future. And above all, to be reminded of our common humanity. I believe that criticism is essential, but cynicism is not. And I worry that in our public discourse, cynicism too easily masquerades as wisdom, as truth, becomes viral and takes over. And worse, suffocates the dreams of young minds who want to build solutions to the problems of the world.
Stop reading the comments.
Now,
How many times during this podcast have you talked about people saying things to you in the comments and it upsetting you?
The reason I read comments is I've met incredible people. Currently, I'm fortunate enough to have people that are just full of love. They make me think, they inspire me. There's incredible people. Some small percentage of humans start becoming toxic.
Yes.
And that drives away what I believe is the majority of the population who are therefore friendly, like the kind of conversations you have at parties in person. So I believe disagreement is an art. It requires care. It requires skill. It requires compassion and respect. Then when there's underlying respect, you get to play, there's humor, there's wit. There's ultimately you arrive at something profound as a result. And one of the fundamental problems of the internet is the mechanisms of social media reward you for mockery, whether you have the respect or not. The same way that when we're two humans sitting together and we can see the pain that we cause to each other for being like assholes to each other, like mean to each other, the same thing should be possible on the internet.
But you have to deal with the landscape. This is the landscape as it's presented to you. You can't imagine a better world where there's no real solution. Well, because there's no technological solution to avoid the troll.
Here's the thing. So I'm trying to build it.
How are you going to build it?
Money can detach you from society. That's why I hate money. I'll always give away money.
What's interesting about you is that you don't own real estate. You don't own a property. You rent. You like the freedom of that.
Yes. I don't think ownership in itself is a limit on your freedom, but people get comfortable, they get soft, it becomes a limitation. Because I want to be able to tomorrow say, I'm going to start a company and I'm not going to do it in Austin. I'm going to do it in Kansas City. I'm going to do it in San Francisco and move just walk away. For me, I probably won't do that, but the freedom to do that allows you to think big. So I gave away everything I own now 3 times in my life. It liberates you intellectually, physically, to take big, bold risks. I can live 1,000 lives. There's so many trajectories. And imagine the greatest possible trajectory that reveals the most beautiful thing I can possibly create. What is that? I feel like that's a good exercise to think about, because it's also liberating to think that you can do anything. So I learned more in these mats than I have in all my years. I learned more about life, about the mind on these mats than I have in all the years of school. The humbling reality that I'm not special, and if you want to be good at anything, you have to work really hard. And if you want to be the best in the world at something like I do, I want to build robots better than anybody else in the world. Or whether that's knitting or yodeling, anything, you have to work. But you have to work harder than anyone else in the world. There's so many exciting possibilities.
Right.
And what I believe in is we have to think about them, we have to talk about them. Technology is always the source of danger, of risk. All of the biggest things that threatened our civilization at the small and large scale, all are connected to misuse of technology we developed.
Technology, what is that all about?
And at the same time, it's that very technology that will empower us and save us.
As computers made our lives better.
One of the things that people disagree with me on is they think Twitter's always going to win. Like maximizing engagement is always going to win. I don't think so. I think people have woken up now to understanding that like they don't always feel good. The ones who are on Twitter a lot, that they don't always feel good at the end of the week. The recommender systems that feed most of the social networks, YouTube, Netflix, and so on, they know very little about you. They have a very primitive capture of who you are as a human that ultimately leads to your purchasing behavior. They don't understand about your set of beliefs, the source of toxicity, the source of pain, of how to put you on a trajectory that improves you as a human. It's more about AI systems being able to know you well, and be an assistant, to form a connection with you in order to help you become the best version of yourself. That's what friends do, that's what girlfriends, partners do, that's what I think AI systems can do. Maybe one easy way to explain the way I think about social networks is to create an AI system that's yours. It's not like Amazon Alexa that's centralized. You own the data. It's like your little friend that becomes your representative, that helps you find things that will make you feel good, that will also challenge your thinking to make you grow, but not get to that, not let you get lost in the negative spiral of dopamine that gets you to be angry. You're now able to understand what interactions led you to become a better version of yourself. And the reason I'm talking about it on a podcast comfortably, as opposed to working it in secret, is it's really hard. And maybe its time has not come.
What about the podcast? Do you enjoy the podcast? I mean, your audience, certainly includes me, really enjoys the podcast. It's incredible.
So I love talking to people. And there's something about microphones that really bring out the best in people. Like you don't get a chance to talk like this. If you and I were just hanging out, we would have a very different conversation in the amount of focus. Here we're 100% focused on each other and focused on the idea. Sometimes playing with ideas that we both don't know like the answer to, like a question we don't know the answer to. We're both like fumbling with it, trying to get some insights at something we haven't really figured out before, and together arriving at that. I think that's magical. I don't know why we need microphones for that, but we somehow do.
Feels like doing science.
It feels like doing science for me, definitely. That's exactly it. I didn't think there was enough good conversations with world-class minds. There's some sense in which I wanted to have dangerous conversations. I wanted to be fearless. The reason I don't usually talk about it is because I feel like I'm not good at conversation. So it looks like it doesn't match the current skill level. But I wanted to have really dangerous conversations that I uniquely would be able to do. I almost always get criticized for asking world-class people, scientists and technologists, and about fear of death and the meaning of life. And on the fear of death, they often don't say anything interesting. What I mean by that is they haven't thought deeply about it, really letting it sink in. Yeah. They kind of say this thing, it's something that happens, not today. I'm aware that it's something that happens. Yeah. And I'm not, the thing they usually say is, I'm not afraid of death. I just want to live a good life, kind of thing. Yeah. And what I'm trying to express is when I look in their eyes and the kind of the core of the conversation, it looks like they haven't really become, they haven't really meditated on death. My grandmother passed away just several days ago. For me, she was one of the key people in my life that raised me. The loss really also is making you realize how much that person meant to you, and allowing yourself to feel that loss and not run away from that loss is really powerful. And in some ways, that's also sweet, because you know that you felt a lot. One of the things that makes this world run is the passing away of previous generations, of previous systems of thought, and the finiteness of life kind of makes life worth living. The reason I talk about love a lot is my grandmother taught me that sometimes it's okay to say the cliche simple thing. You don't always have to be super intelligent, super interesting, super complicated and eloquent. You can just talk about love. One of the things the internet encouraged of me is to be real. It's to be flawed. If people are going to trust the things you create, you have to be real. When you look in the mirror, especially when you're young and you have these big dreams, how do you know you're actually as smart as you think you are? Because I love people and I think I'm kind of an idiot, and so when other people say do this and do that, there is a pressure there. It's actually very difficult to not listen necessarily to the advice of others and yet keep yourself fragile and open to the world. What am I good at? What will the path that I can pave look like? And I have a belief, a deep self-belief that on that path I'm traveling, that new path I'm paving, I am the right person. This is the right time. I am the best person in the world for that. I'm nervous, man.
You should be. You're about to read a poem in front of millions of people.
And I'm speaking for the woman that probably is looking down, shaking her head what are you doing? Drink vodka, shut the hell up. If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you, if you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting too, if you can wait and not be tired by waiting, or being lied about, don't deal in lies, or being hated, don't give way to hating, and yet don't look too good nor talk too wise. If you can dream and not make dreams your master, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim, if you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two imposters just the same, if you can bear to hear the truths you've spoken, twisted by knaves they make a trap for fools, or watch the things you gave your life to broken, and stoop and build them up with worn-out tools. If you can make one heap of all your winnings and risk it on one turn of pitch and toss, and lose and start again at your beginnings, and never breathe a word about your loss. If you can talk with crowds and keep your virtue, or walk with kings and lose the common touch, if neither foes nor loving friends can hurt you, if all men count with you, but none too much, if you can fill the unforgiving minute with 60 seconds worth of distance run, yours is the earth and everything that's in it, and which is more, you'll be a man, my grandson.